Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hour of Power show. We're here, we're going to be talking about the basketball playoffs right now. And then if you want to email the show, if you want to get in touch with us, ask us your questions. Our email address is hourofpowershow@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook. Make sure to like us. And make sure to vote on the polls that you see that are up there. They're a lot of fun.
Think about who you want to suggest for the hot girl off for next season.
Exactly. We're going to be doing that a little later tonight. So think about all the hot girls that you know. I mean, famous ones. We're not going to
We need to be able to Google
them. Exactly. And when we're going to fill out the brackets. So start thinking about that and send us an email address and take a shot of beer with us in 7 seconds. And do that for the next 40 minutes.
People can mail pictures to us, though, if they needed to. I mean, if they had somebody that they liked more, that's fine. We'll just post it on our Facebook page so that everybody else that's watching can vote, too.
That's true. So please make it provocative.
Send us an email with your provocative pictures. Or you could probably just send it through the mail, and we'll just give you Ryan's address. And
we'll buy a PO box.
Okay, I guess that works.
Right.
We will give you Ridley's address, and then you can show up there drunk one night and see what could happen.
Awesome.
So, anyway, before we left, I asked you about the Miami-Chicago series. Miami took the first game.
No, Chicago took the first game.
Crap. Yes. Crap. That is true. I'm stupid.
It's all right.
Anyways, you took the first game. So tell us a bit about that.
All right.
Let me not talk and make fools of us anymore.
Okay. Chicago dominated Miami, and Miami came out and laid an egg. Derrick Rose had a great game. You know, the big three for Miami didn't really do a whole lot. It was just a bad performance on Miami's end. And Miami now is 0-4 on the year against Chicago.
And didn't LeBron come out and say that it was all because he had a little head cold?
I didn't see that. I know that he. Oh, yeah, LeBron has a cold. He's saying that right now. I didn't hear any excuses about the first game, but basically, thanks, Bobby.
So Ridley's address is out there now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just a bad game overall for Miami. Chicago played great. I mean, Taj Gibson, who is actually a former teammate of LeBron's in Cleveland, he came out of nowhere and had 2 phenomenal dunks. I don't know if you saw him, but basically he posterized Dwayne Wade, and then there's a three-pointer that went off the backboard, and he grabbed it out of one hand and just windmilled it down. It was incredible.
So did you pick the Heat to win this series before it started? And if you did, would you take a mulligan now and go with Chicago?
I did pick the Heat. I think the Heat will win in 6, or I thought so at the time, and I actually still think so at the time. I think Miami's going to figure it out. Chicago, I don't think they're deep enough. As long as Miami can figure out how to control Derrick Rose, Chicago's going to have issues. So I think Miami is going to end up winning this series. They've just been playing better basketball lately, and I think that'll end up being, the more deciding factor.
Yeah, it's kind of like in a lot of the media, it's kind of like the immediate reaction. It's the overreaction that happens right away. So Chicago comes out with a great game, and then all of a sudden, maybe this Heat team isn't as good as we thought. Well, maybe they just had one off game. Maybe they'll be just fine in the next game. Mm-hmm. Wasn't it? Everyone was complaining about the Red Sox at the beginning of the year. How could they only have won 2 games in their first month? And now they're back within a couple of games of the top spot in the division.
Yeah, they're actually tied with the Yankees right now. So
for the top spot?
No, they're for second. It was a 3-way tie before yesterday's game, so I'm not sure what happened yesterday that influenced that. But they are above 500 now. It took them 40 games to get there, but they're above 500.
That tells a lot about a team, though. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, yeah. So there's just that overreaction that, of course, will happen. Of course, they'll go through that way.
All right. So we skipped the initial segment, which is headlines. We'll go run through those quickly. Wow.
We're having talking problems.
Yeah, we are. Words are hard. Like we said, there's not a whole lot of sports going on. We've also got requests to focus more on other random shit. So we're going to try to do that.
Yes.
which will be fun during our segment of Would You Rather. So we'll start off. The Ohio State AD says he still backs Jim Tressel. And Jim Tressel, of course, got involved in a big scandal about the players' benefits, or not the benefits, but them selling stuff. Him letting them play even though he knew that they wouldn't be allowed by the NCAA if the NCAA knew what he knew. But the AD still backs him, of course, because he won a championship for him. It's
on the football field, he wins games. Ohio State's been good a lot of the time that he's been there. I don't want to say whole time because I don't remember the year that he got there, but I mean Ohio State's been good for years and years. So that's why they're backing him. I mean, you want to back a winner.
And then next up, Charles Barkley said that having a gay teammate is a non-issue. He said he knows he's had a gay teammate before. He said he didn't say who it was, but he said at least on two or three teams he's had a gay teammate. This is, of course, coming after the Phoenix Suns president, Rick Welts, came out and said, I'm gay. Basically, he's the first prominent sports executive to come out and be openly gay. And so that started this big old discussion whether professional athletes, especially males, are homophobic. And so Charles Barkley was saying, it's not as big of a deal as people think it is. Like, it's not like a gay teammate's going to come up and check you out in the shower or anything, or, like put the moves on you. It's not like that. And it's not a big deal. Everybody needs to just, drop it because, it's a non-issue. And then my favorite part was he says, I'm not discriminatory towards gay people. As a black person growing up, I have no right to be discriminatory towards anyone just because he knows how it feels, and it would be, just like hypocritical of him to be discriminatory.
I agree. I mean, it's the overreacting. It's like, yeah, obviously, if you have a gay teammate, they're going to start hitting on you and touching up on you in the shower. It's like, it doesn't happen that way.
No.
You can't think that it does because it does not. However, I do want Ryan to spend the next week making sure he gets a clip of Ridley saying, I'm gay. And, well, possibly you might need to get that one. And I was also going to say that having a gay teammate hasn't held you back at all. So
no, it hasn't.
You've been just fine with that.
I know. I support him every day. Ooh, all right, continuing on. LeBron decided that it was a good idea for him to chime in about the Cleveland Cavaliers' previously mentioned lottery fortune, and said that he thinks Kyrie Irving, who we mentioned is the Duke point guard, is a great fit for Cleveland. He thinks that he'll be a good player for them.
So he just picked whoever was the top on the list, who was probably going to go number one anyway. Said, yeah, he's probably good.
Yeah, he said he'll be a good player, blah, blah, blah. And he's just trying to mend bridges over there, and it's not going to work. Donovan McNabb said he's okay with John Beck's talk. John Beck came out earlier this week and said, I feel I'm going to be the starting quarterback this year. I'm starting to organize practices. And the big thing that he said that would probably have pissed off McNabb is that he said that he was happy about McNabb's benching and the controversy McNabb went through at the end of last season because it gave him a shot to win the starting job. So basically, he came out and said, I'm a selfish prick, and I'm really glad this happened for my career.
But well, see, I was okay with all the first part of that, but then when you get to the part where it's like, yeah, I'm kind of happy that he got into some controversy. I mean, all that asshole stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And John Beck, of course, is a BYU graduate. I don't know if that's choosing the right way for him, but, to each their own. So, anyways, McNabb just came out and said, John's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. I've known him for 13 years. He prepares really hard, and whether I'm here or whether I'm elsewhere, I'm going to be doing fine. And so he basically turned the other cheek on.
Do you think McNabb's going to go elsewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be gone. He's going to be released or traded.
The Redskins are not going to keep him.
No. Kendrick Perkins of the Thunder and Tyson Chandler of the Dallas Mavericks are having a little feud right now. Nice call.
Thank you. Ooh, very nice call.
Yeah, I felt it coming. They don't like each other. Actually, according to Tyson Chandler, there's no problem, but Kendrick Perkins came out and said, no, we don't like each other. We've never liked each other. It's the way it is. The only reason this is getting published is because his playoff basketball.
Hmm.
It's
That's
a
true.
non-issue.
And yes, and who cares who likes who and who does not like who? Mainly because last time I checked, we're not in kindergarten anymore.
That's right.
However, I think a lot of the NBA players didn't pass kindergarten.
That's a good point. Here's another. This one's actually a pretty good one. The Big Ten is looking at adding living expenses on top of scholarships. Basically, they're trying to make the players, the student athletes, as least likely to cause an NCAA infraction by adding these rules. And this is actually something that I agree with. You know, the student athletes, especially in football and basketball, create millions of dollars for the NCAA. And sure, they get free tuition, and some of them get, like, you know, a small living stipend or whatever. But, I mean, you know, they're busting their ass a ton of the time, and, you know, for $20,000 or $20,000 to $30,000 a year worth of education.
I had not heard about that, and I love that idea because as long as there's, you know, even though I don't like the NCAA, I think that they should get involved with that. Put some kind of cap on it so you can't outbid somebody, like you can't outbid another school. Right. Hey, they're going to give you this much living expenses, but I'll give you this much more.
Yeah, just make it all, you know, uniform.
Exactly.
Like, say, all right, if we're going to give you a full ride scholarship, this is going to be the added on living expenses to you. If we're going to give you a partial scholarship, this is the expenses.
Exactly. Or you're really good, we're going to give you the full scholarship, but we're not going to pay the living expenses. Find somewhere else if you want to. But But the great players, the Reggie Bushes of the world, we're going to not only pay for your school, but we're also going to pay for you to live. Because the thing about the college athletes is they can't go out and get a job. They can't work on the side. They can't do anything to make extra money because that could be influenced by boosters, rich boosters who say, yeah, why don't you come in and work at my pizza place? I'll pay you $10,000 a day just for coming in. It's like that kind of stuff would happen. So they can't work. They can't do anything. I think that's a great idea. I think that they should totally do it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's another recruiting tool. You can get, you know, the bigger schools can get some of those good players to come in. The smaller schools, they're going to have to, you know, they can give out the full scholarships, but they're not going to be able to give out the same kind of other things that the bigger schools can offer, which is going to be good for ratings, basically.
Well, you know, as long as they're NCAA allowed scholarships or whatever, I'm completely fine with it. Like I said, I don't think student athletes get treated fairly anyways, and there's like too many restrictions over their heads. So I think this is a good rule. All right, quickly finishing up, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is whining because he doesn't have a statue in front of the Staples Center, because even though Magic Johnson and Jerry West do, he said that he deserves one.
They can't find enough iron to build one his height.
Apparently. The San Francisco Giants fan, Brian Stowe, the one that got beat up outside Dodger Stadium, opened his eyes today, which is really good news, but he still remains in critical condition.
Yep.
Tiger's still dropping in the golfing rankings, but he's still Forbes' number 6 highest earning person, I think.
Because who would not buy underwear that says Tiger Woods on it?
That's right. And Animal Kingdom, the Kentucky Derby winner gets post 11 in the Preakness. When we come back, we're going to probably go ahead and switch to some nonsense, but before then, we're going to take a quick commercial break.